So even when it looks like you're presented with life situations that don't allow free movement, it is really like a squeezing you, showing you that in this outer world, you really, there's a loss of control, the recognition of how much as human beings on this plane right now, we're all being controlled, just face to face with that, what we're allowed and what we're not allowed. I mean, this was my question since 4 years old, 3 years old, Just couldn't understand it. Just could not understand how there were laws and rules. Yeah. So with being so controlled and manipulated and all of that, and being forced to, right now with this situation we all have all over the planet, which is kind of amazing and hilarious, that we're all under the control of so-called rulers telling us what we can and can't. That forces you to wear back to yourself. If you are isolated and you're made to stay, that forces you back to yourself. And if you don't know where to find true freedom, you're going to be having a hard time with that. The clinging and trying to control things will be a difficult one if you don't know how to go to your innermost and commune. And that's a point I wanted to really make, is that in this whole situation we have, this apparent choice that's on the table, the choice of what you give your attention to. The choice of where your life force goes towards. The daily choice of what you're busy with. That's something that within your little isolation bubble, there appears a choice, right? And it's you who is presented with. So moving in the fear, the panic, the anxiety, these levels, it's very obvious that it energizes itself. Whatever we energize is energized, and it gets bigger. So then the system getting into an anxiety place and problem, it just multiplies. And everywhere you look, it's difficult. And that, of course, naturally affects the whole system and the immune system. And most of the people are run on that. Most of this 3D dimension are run at that level. And so the immune system is low, and there's a resonance to the fear and the attraction point. It's really, really time to take responsibility for your experience. And it's not just, it's the time now, because this this pandemic is on, it's always the time in your life now. It is the time to take responsibility. Where you go in yourself, what you give life to, what you prioritize on a daily basis. So as we adapt to this whole new situation, even more extremely, we need to make adaptations where we might have enjoyed to go here, go there, do this, do that. That's all got to change. So you're faced with yourself. So the adaptations that are needed to make within yourself and the seeing of the cost, it requires an adaptive process. You have to adapt to this new situation. How are you adapting? So what I really find of utmost importance at a time like this, and always, but at a time like this, it's even more, you can't get lazy, you can't get sleepy. It's like you need to be communing at levels within your being. Divine communion. You need to be spending at least some of your day in divine communion. And for that, it means that your whole system has to settle and ground. And you look for yourself, like, what are the things that bring you like that when you go into the worry? Maybe all different angles of worry for different people. It's like the financial, the people you have to take care of, different or getting the virus, or not having enough, whatever, different areas. For some, that may not be happening yet, but it can, Oh yes, it can. Because nothing is safe. And that's what's being obviously revealed. There's no safety and there's no guarantee of anything on this 3D human plane. There just isn't. And that somebody else, as part of this play, can rule over you and tell you what you can and what you can't, So yeah, it's really imperative. It's deeply important, although it always is, but even more so, it's like it's squeezed. Is that through your day, there needs to be communing with God. I say the word God, communing, deep communion, where you're not in your human story, and you're communing right at the heart of where your heart meets all of existence, and there you are listening. And for this to come about, it means that your whole system needs to get calm and relaxed, otherwise you can't hear a thing. You can't hear clear direction. You can't hear the guidance of your levels of divine assistance, which are other levels of yourself. you can't hear any of it because you're so busy with your whole little thing of what you've got to try to control, because that's just the way that you've been doing life, you know. So there is this like choice that appears when you are aware, is what is your primary focus of the day? How much are you prioritizing first and foremost to get grounded, to get deep in yourself, to listen and to move from there? And then go and take care of the things on this human, not to deny. You know, I will say 100 more tasks than I had before this thing kicked off, right? I got my hands full, right? And I know that I cannot spare a single little bit of drop in any kind of nonsense. I cannot waste time on anything. It's like I'm one-pointed. I have to take care of all these things. What is important is that I deeply take space in myself. The system is deeply calm. And for that, I just know, okay, I can be there for the one in panic, my father. I can be there for the one who, you know, really needs help. I can be there because I am here. But if I am in that spin, I'm in that spin, you know. And you will know because your chest will tell you, the anxiety in the chest, the breathing will tell you. Your body is such an incredible mechanism that yeah. So adapting to this new situation requires that each one adapts in a way according to what matters most. You cannot really be of help to anyone until you really have like groundedness, and you find ways to adapt because you're shown. Amazingly, we're all in this together. We always were, but this particular thing, we don't know where it's going. There's so much uncertainty. Everything is so fragile, and that is creating a collective anxiety in the air, a collective fear, right? And whatever's in the collective, it moves through your consciousness. So deeper communion, moving to another, you're multidimensional, another dimension of what you are, where there is peace, there is gratitude, there is joy, which is the inherent nature of, the true nature of being. This is the only safety, because you can always rely on that. This is the only thing that's reliable. It's not a thing, that's why it's reliable. So I'm saying that take a little time for true prayer every day, which comes from just being and communing with existence. tuning into a frequency that needs to infuse the human race. As an awake being, there is a responsibility somehow to be the light you are. This human, even though it's all a play, it's all a divine play and nobody needs anything and all of that, this human level needs a frequency that lifts up this river of fear, panic, anxiety, stress. Yeah. Gatherings like this, coming together, meeting deeply, giving value to stopping, affects everybody you come in contact with, because you're changing your body. The moment that you start making this a priority in your life, you're changing your body. When you live true. And I know there is a knowing, thy will be done. The most you can ever help is to be available to the deepest. The whole of the life has been for this moment. It's not hobby, it's not search, it's for this. And being interested in having the eyes open and walking awake is not for the faint-hearted, it's not for a joke, and it's not for talk, it's for the being willing to actually be here and meet head on what's coming. Yeah, and you know it. I don't have to tell you. I just confirm that this is only the beginning. Yeah, it's not going to stop, right? Right now it's a pandemic, and we're being made to be in a place where we are okay, and there's more. Open, expand, move to a deeper value, commune as existence, infuse the light of your own being through all of your human layers to meet it all, to meet the terror, to meet the panic, if it comes, yeah. And there will be more. So it's like to walk this way or to be in the river of the riptides. It's an incredible moment to be alive. And we're here for this, we're made for this, we came here for this. We've done this before. On the human level, there's updates happening. And that does bring about frustration and anxiety and fear and loss of control, all those things. But if you've been walking this way for a while, you've been walking this way. And if you hadn't, welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the new normal. There's so much joy and light to be opened in, to be revealed as you are made new. It's also not going to stop. It won't stop. It will keep revealing itself to itself as you, through your human, as the human old layers die out. Not easy always. Sometimes fucking terrible. But the more that you are here to face in yourself whatever you're here to meet and feel finally, all what you've been distracted from for so long, then the more you can be here for the other. And we need to be here for the other, because the other is yourself. And there will be death, and there is no death. Right? So like a speed of light, which you are, moving in a body, being here to meet all the struggles of the human, and get honest and keep adapting and keep adapting. But this really depends on when you wake up in the morning, what's your first thing? Are you going in distraction? Are you energizing the problem? You know, this exquisite walking on a razor's edge. You have to be able to notice every moment when you're going off into leading yourself into a place where you really don't want to be, you know, because it hurts. It's painful, you struggle. So you pull yourself back. You're like, and you know exactly where, what's needed, moment to moment. We need to be here for each other. There are a lot who will be connected to you, who need a hand, you know. And sometimes you need a hand. It's really, really a moment to clarify, why are you here in this life? And make your whole life about that. You are confirming the knowing in your being right now. It's really remarkable and really beautiful that there have been no questions, you know, because the answer is dominant. The answer removes all the questions. And that is why daily communion is the answer.